Brian, if you're contributing to a 401k plan, you likely have a choice between a traditional 401k and a Roth 401k. What is the difference?
Yeah, I get asked this a lot, and I think it's really important to spend a little time thinking about it because it can make a big difference in your retirement someday, so I want to talk about that. When you make a contribution to a traditional IRA, you get a tax deduction, and that tax deduction is at your highest marginal income tax bracket. So let's say that you were considering putting $10,000 into a traditional 401k during the year. How much do you get back from the government? Well, it depends on your bracket. You might be at the 12% bracket, might be at the 22% bracket. So let's say you're at the 22% bracket. You would get 22% of that back. So $10,000, you get $2,200 back in taxes. So that's a great thing. What about if I do a Roth? How much do I get back? Well, nothing. You don't get any deductions from that. So you miss out on the $2,200. You think, well, that's not a good deal. Well, what's the benefit of that? Well, we look at the traditional retirement plan contribution. That's going to hopefully grow over time. And whatever it grows to, when you take that money out, or when your heirs take it out, or when you're forced to take it out with required minimum distributions, you will pay at the highest marginal tax bracket you are at in the future. With the Roth, whatever it grows to, you don't pay any income tax ever. So you don't care about what the future rates are. So the traditional IRA is better for you today. The Roth contribution will be better for you long term.
So Brian, the decision that you have to make is largely based on tax rates. I mean, wouldn't tax rates be a moving object? They probably will change.
Yeah, they probably will change. And so one of the things you got to consider is, what rate am I at today? So maybe you're starting out in the workforce and you're in a very low bracket. You might go, well, I'm going to be rich someday, so I think I'm going to be in a high bracket someday. I'd rather do a Roth. It probably makes good sense. Or maybe you're at a very high bracket right now and you know you're going to retire in a year or two and your income's going to go way down. So you might want to take the deductible contribution at your very high bracket today, knowing in a couple of years you're in a low bracket. So when you take money out of your IRA, you're not paying much tax. You got a big refund at a higher rate and you're paying it back at a much lower rate. So that can be a consideration, future tax rates.
So Brian, all this sounds great, but can you put this story into numbers for us?
Yeah, I'll put it very personally. I'll use this person, Brian,
okay,
who back when he was 25 years old, I was working at a CPA firm in Bellevue, and the Dow was about 3,000 at the time. So at the time, I was in a low tax bracket, but we didn't have a Roth contribution options back then. I wish we did, because I put my $2,000, say, into my 401k plan, and I got probably $300 back because I was at the 15% bracket probably. Well, that $2,000, when the Dow was 3,000, now that the Dow's well above 10 times that, maybe that 2,000 would be 20,000. So I'm at a much higher bracket now. So when I ever take that money out, that $20,000 out, I'm going to be paying tax on all 20,000. So let's say I'm in the 40% bracket. I'm going to pay $8,000 of tax. I only got $300 back when I took it when I originally made that contribution. Because I had time on my side and investments did well, I would have been way better putting that into a Roth had I had that option than a 401k plan. So if you're younger, certainly consider, if you're going to invest that money, do it in a Roth if at all possible, because the tax-free nature is such that you'll be way ahead.
So age is a consideration here.
Absolutely. Age is a consideration in how you invest. And conversely, if you're much older, you may want the tax deduction now because you think you're going to be in a lower bracket later. But certainly for most folks listening, definitely consider a Roth. It may very well be a very good move for you, especially if you think income tax rates are going to be higher in the future than they are today. And last time I checked, the government owes a lot of money and may need to raise those taxes.
Brian, thanks for telling us more about a Roth versus a traditional 401k.